Good morning. Welcoming you all to the wonder world of genetics. Today in this class we will be dealing with multiple alleles and multiple allelism. How these multiple alleles differ from the usual Mendelian inheritance. Here the inheritance patterns depend on a single gene, but the gene is controlled by more than two alleles. Usually a single gene has two alternative forms which we call it as alleles, but when it comes to the case of multiple alleles, more than two alleles are involved in deciding the inheritance pattern. That is the main difference between the usual Mendelian inheritance and in the case of this multiple alleles. The typical example for multiple allelic inheritance is ABO blood grouping in man. Today I will be detailing the inheritance patterns of blood group, Rh factor and blood transfusion. As you all know, the classical blood grouping system was first introduced by Landsteiner, and four main blood types A, B, AB and O was recognized, and the different blood groups is mainly due to the presence and expression of certain antigens on the surface of the red blood cell. Now this is the division of the blood group A, B and O. Here the table shows the blood cell types, antibodies present and the antigens present. Individuals belonging to group A carry the antigen A, and those belonging to group B carry the antigen B, and those belonging to group AB carry both the antigens A and B. And there comes the difference, the group O individuals contain no antigens at all. And these individuals, that is the group O individuals, possess certain antibodies in their blood plasma. And coming to the detailing of the antibodies in the plasma, we can see that group A individuals will be having antibody beta and group B will be having antibody alpha, while in the case of group AB, none of these antibodies are present. And coming to the case of group O, we can see both antibodies, that is antibody beta as well as antibody alpha is present in the blood plasma. That is the main difference. Here antigens is completely absent in the case of group O, and antibodies are present, that is antibody beta and antibody alpha, and antibodies is completely absent in the case of group AB, while both A and B antigens are present in the case of group AB. What is the genetic map of all these genes? That's a question, right? In previous times it was thought that the complete grouping was controlled by many genes, but after that it was noticed that all of these blood groups are maintained and regulated by only one gene, that is one type of gene. There is no multigenic but monogenic type of inheritance. It was reported so in the recent studies. But here the difference is, instead of having the typical two alleles of a gene, we have more than two alleles. Here actually three alleles are involved in this blood group pattern. Now analyzing the gene pattern, we can see that the production of human antigen is governed by a single autosomal gene denoted by the letter capital I, and this gene has three different alleles, that is capital IA, capital IB and small i, and these alleles determine the presence of the antigens in the RBC, and accordingly the human beings are classified into A, B, AB and O groups. Now again there exists a question or arise a question, how come this AB group exists? Here comes the term codominance. The gene for antigen A and gene for antigen B are codominant. That means both come contact with each other to produce the mixture of the same, that is the AB blood group. That's why we have this AB blood group along with A group, B group and a O group. Then coming to the inheritance pattern, we all get confused how this three types of blood groups get inherited. During zygote formation, we have two different gametes, male gamete and female gamete, and both of them will be carrying the two opposite versions of the same genes called the alleles. When the allele from one gamete combine with the allele from another gamete, this lead up to a mixture of effect which can be visualized in the offsprings. Allele from parent 1 and allele from parent 2 will vary according to the varying nature of the alleles, and based on this we have child's phenotype and genotype. Now as we can infer from the table, like parent allele 1 is A and second parent allele is also A. So the child's genotype is capital A and the phenotype will be A, that the child will be having blood group A. That's the phenotypic expression. And for coming to the next slide, the next pattern, that is allele from parent 1 in the second case, it is A and the allele from parent 2 is O. Here there is the child's phenotype is capital A and we will be getting confused. What about the O? As the O doesn't have any antigen at all, its presence is masked by capital A, and the capital A being dominant over the O, the phenotypic expression will be capital A while the genotypic expression will be capital A O. The similar is the case with the below listed phenotypes also. Simple combination of this alleles bring about the child's phenotype as well as genotype. And coming to the last one, if capital O and capital O, that is allele from parent 1 and parent 2, both are capital O, the ultimate decision will be capital O because there is no antigen present in any kind of the parent cells. In addition to A and B antigens, RBCs contain another factor called RH antigen. And the existence of this factor was discovered in the RBCs of rhesus monkey and hence the name rhesus factor or the RH factor. And individuals possessing this factor in the blood cells are called RH positive and those without the factor are called RH negative. And we can infer from the table the possible genotypes for this RH factor. RH positive individuals will be either RH plus or RH plus RH minus, that is both homozygous and heterozygous nature. Whenever RH positive is present, the phenotypic expression will be RH plus, and for the negative one, only possible genotype is RH minus. So persons who are homozygous or heterozygous for RH positive will be RH positive and those with homozygous recessive condition will be RH negative. Now if we look at the inheritance pattern of this RH factor, both the parents will be having two different alleles. In case 1, parent 1 is RH positive and parent 2 is RH negative and child will be RH positive. The second case, it is heterozygous. In heterozygous condition, the dominant case being RH positive, the offspring will be RH positive. If both of the parents are giving allele, RH negative allele, then the offspring will show RH negative. This is the common inheritance pattern in the case of RH factor. At times, the RH factor becomes dangerous. Let's discuss about it. The RH antigen naturally doesn't produce any antibody at all, but production of RH antibody can be induced by sensitizing the RH negative individuals with RH positive blood. Even a small quantity of RH positive blood can evoke production of RH antibody in the RH negative person. The antibody thus formed remains throughout the life. This is the important case that has to be remembered. That is, the antibody once produced will remain throughout the life of that particular person. And this case is to be noted when it comes to the case of pregnancy. Your pregnancy needs special care if you are RH negative and your baby is RH positive. And this phenomenon is called RH incompatibility, the mother being RH negative and the baby being RH positive. When the blood of an RH positive fetus gets into the bloodstream of an RH negative woman, her body will recognize that the RH positive blood is not hers. Her body will try to destroy it by making antibodies against this RH factor. During a pregnancy, RH antibodies made in a woman's body can cross the placenta and attack fetal blood cells. This can cause serious type of anemia in the fetus in which the red blood cells are destroyed faster than the body can replace them. Red blood cells carry oxygen to all parts of the body, as you all know. Without enough red blood cells, the fetus will not get enough oxygen and in extreme cases, the newborn can die from anemia. And coming to the last part, it is dealing with blood transfusion. Blood transfusion is made into effect when in the case of serious blood loss for a particular person. And it is transfer of blood from one person to another, and the one who receives the blood is called a recipient and one who donates it's called a donor. Utmost care has to be taken while transferring the blood, as if the blood which is being transfused is not matching, agglutination of the donor blood may take place due to antigen-antibody reactions, and the agglutinated blood may cause even death of the recipient. So, it should be ensured that blood from the same group person can be received without any incompatibility problems, and it should be ensured that same group blood is only transferred to the recipient body. This is universal donors and universal recipients. These are new terms, and what these terms intend to convey us. Individuals belonging to O group, they are called as universal donors. Why? Because their blood contains neither A antigen nor B antigen, and hence their blood will never be clumped on transfusion to any individual. And similarly, individuals belonging to AB group are universal recipients. Why they are called so? Their blood contains neither alpha nor beta antibodies, and so will not cause clumping of the donor's blood. Therefore, these two blood groups are named as universal donors and universal recipients respectively. And this table denotes who can donate blood and who can receive blood. See, the belonging to that O group, the O group can donate to almost every blood group, and AB group can receive from every blood group. But for A blood group, it can receive only blood from O and A. And for B blood group, it can receive only from B and O. This is a review on the various blood types based on nation. Australia, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, etc. No need to memorize all these things. Only one thing is that in all of these nations, O positive blood group is the most abundant, that's the most important thing. And AB blood group is the rarest one. So that's all about the blood genetics. Hope this will help you. Thank you.